think, in my opinion at least. So yeah, Evan, you want to possibly give us a brief overview of how Walton sees Genesis 1 in regards to immaterial origins, and I guess you can throw in a little bit of Temple Inauguration part in there too if you want to, real quick.
Yeah, well, um, I agree with Walton's thesis. My view, I think he doesn't go far enough. I think he doesn't, right? I don't think he recognizes like the temple. The polemic aspects that the author is taking shots at um, other creation myths, other theologies. But that's a minor criticism. But like, yeah, there's Walton views, and I agree with him on the stuff he does affirm, that Genesis 1 is not about scientific facts. It's not about material origins. It's not. I used to see Genesis 1 as being sort of like the opening theme of the sitcom The Big Bang Theory, where it's like 14 billion years of history condensed into 30 seconds. Well, I used to be a day ager. I thought the days were long periods of time, and this was an account of natural history. I held to the view that John Hugh Ross defends in his book Navigating Genesis. Uh, and that's what I thought Genesis 1 was. It's just 14 billion years of history condensed into like 7 days. But when we are approaching an ancient text, we have to interpret it the way the original author would have understood it. And the original author would not have known anything like plate tectonics or Big Bang cosmology. He would not have seen the creation of fish on day 5 as the Cambrian explosion. And so we have to get into that mindset that an ancient Israelite, how would they have interpreted it? We have to get at what scholars call the authorial intent. And so, looking at ancient Near Eastern creation myth, looking at the original language that ancient Hebrew that Genesis 1 was written in, looking across the canon, because Walton believes, as I do, that not just Genesis, but the entire Bible is inspired. Everything from Genesis 1:1 to Revelation 22 is inspired. And so that can also, but especially the Old Testament, because that's really close in time to Genesis, relatively speaking. And so we can, through the work of exegesis, Walton presents his case that Genesis 1 is about God assigning functions to everything that exists, or materially. He's not necessarily bringing it into physical being. He's creating, on day 4, for example, he creates the sun, moon, and stars to serve as signs for seasons, days, and years. And yeah, so it's about, this is going to serve this purpose, this thing is going to serve this purpose, and this thing is going to serve this purpose. And a second plank to his thesis is that God is, he's assigning functions to all of these things that, in the cosmos, the sun, moon, and stars, the birds, the fish, etc., because he is preparing the cosmos to be his temple. God is going to come into the universe and dwell in it as sacred space. He's going to make it, sort of a massive, it's like a temple. And he does that over 7 days. That's the view in a nutshell. And obviously we're going to get into more of this as the video goes on, but that's pretty much that's pretty much like condensed, nutshell, bite-sized what the view is.